Okay, this is a 76 Landcruiser, so it's 4.5 litre V8 single turbo diesel engine. It's done 111,000 kilometres and it's fully warmed up. Percentage load's probably one of the first things you look at. On idle, fully warmed up. Doesn't really matter whether the EGR valves are open or closed. The EGR valves have been disabled in the factory ECU when it had a ECU churn, but it really doesn't affect the idle load figures, so somewhere between 15 and 20% there. If it's over 20%, then things are not real healthy, and this figure also depends on what you've had done to the engine. So if you've got a 3-inch exhaust and a K&N air filter and a 2.5-inch thermal wrap crossover pipe, it all adds to better efficiency, so the lower you get a lower number. But so this one's got all that, and it's usually around 16%, so between 15 and 20%. Over 20 you just start looking at other things, and the one that everyone looks at is the injector values. As long as they're not over plus or minus 2.5, if they're at plus or minus 2 or 2.5, then they're getting pretty close to being tired. They're getting pretty old. This one's over fueling the front 2 cylinders and defueling the back 2. I'm quite happy with that. This injection period will also start stepping out as the injectors wear out. If that's up around 700, you've got problems. This should be the fuel rail pressure you get at idle. You can see there, I've highlighted that one. You can see how hot the fuel gets. It's the inlet fuel temperature is 45 degrees C and the outlet's 81 degrees C. So that's why this thing has fuel coolers everywhere on it. You've got a fuel cooler in the V, just below the HP fuel pump, and you've got 2 other passive coolers underneath the bottom of the vehicle as well, all there to keep that fuel cool. You compress it up, that sort of pressure, you've got to expect it to get hot. Something else that other people are not aware of on this engine, and same with the 200 series, it has an oil cooler on the engine. So the engine coolant cools the oil down, so the oil gets up to temperature just as quickly as the coolant temperature does in this engine, and it doesn't get any more than a few degrees above the coolant temp. So it's pretty important to run the right viscosity oil in these things. They're fairly close tolerance engine, so 1540 weight oil is not good. You want to be down 530 weight, 540 weight. Unless you're living in below 0, then you could probably go down to a 0 weight, but it's a 530 or 540 weight oil's what you should be using in these things. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The EGR valves, as I said, they don't affect the load too much, but if your EGR valves, depending on the percentage that they're open, they're closed at the moment, you'll see this math figure drop right down. Like if those valves were open at 80% open, which is about the highest they go, you'd see that MAF reading go down to below half that. It'd go down to around about 10. We can't open the EGR valves in the active test. You can close them while the engine's running, but you can't open them. So the EGR step position, it won't work while the engine's running, but the activate EGR valves are closed. That does work while the engine's running, but mine have been disabled anyway, so they don't open up. Yeah, that's about it.